Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for Wednesday, the 17th of September 2025. So stocks end red ahead of Fed, bonds bid, and Bitcoin and bullion also bid as well. The dollar dived to a fresh cycle low, its lowest close since March of 2022. And the US stocks were cautious on the eve of the FOMC meeting, which obviously is tonight, to see what rate cut is going to actually be given. Dollar sold with stocks and bonds choppy ahead of FOMC. And finally, FOMC preview. This one could get crazy. And I agree, actually. While the consensus is looking for a 25 basis point rate cut, there is a small but non-zero chance all hell could break loose if we get 4 or more dissenters. I think it's more or less worse than that, to be honest with you. I think it's more a case of this. Rates spark a dovish 25 basis point or a hawkish 50 basis point rate cut. I don't think I've seen this situation for an awful long time. And I think either way it's going to be bad news, because I think the market's already priced in, given yesterday's price action, these cuts anyway. It's tough to envisage a hawkish 25 basis cut, else why do it in the first place? A dovish 25 basis cut is far more likely. If Chair Powell wants to be hawkish, then better to deliver a 50 basis cut. Long rates are in a mood to go along with the rate cutting ride and test lower too. But rate cuts plus likely rising inflation present an issue for long dates to deal with ahead, which means basically that they may have to go back to raising rates. So for me, my money's on 25 basis points. I don't see the 50 at all. And I also see correction in the markets following this as well, because obviously 25 basis points has already been priced in with the daily all-time highs that we've seen as well. But time will tell. I wasn't right yesterday. The market decided to go south one day before the news was released. But this is going to be a key situation if it's only 25 basis points. It'll be the same for the metals as well. You'll see those pull back sharply also. Right, let's have a look, see what else is happening today. We've got the CPI from the UK. Rachel's going to be watching this very closely, 3.8%. And then the big news of the day is going to be the rate cut. And it is forecast across the board there at just 25 basis points. I can't see why it would do 50, because Trump's been badgering him for months to actually just cut rates. And I can't see why he would do 50 basis points when he can get away with just doing 25 to irritate Trump a little bit more. They're not the best of friends, so there'll be some politics here, as well as trying to get one-upmanship and all the rest of it, and also show some form of grandstanding by the Fed that whatever Trump says, we're not going to take any notice of. So for me, it's a 25 basis point cut. And also a correction following this in the markets, because what else have they got to actually pump the market to the upside apart from any new geopolitical event? Right, let's have a look at the markets and kick off with the Dow. So in the Dow yesterday, market down, and you can see there down overnight as well, because I think most of it's already baked into the cake, hasn't it? We've had the recent all-time high when they've been trying to bet on whether the Fed's going to cut by 25 or 50, and the all-time high now is not in sight unless there is some major turnaround later today. But again, we were sideways yesterday, and it looks like some traders decided to offload, get rid of some stocks ahead of this meeting, just in case we do turn into a corrective mode from tomorrow. So 30-minute chart there, also sideways to lower, well, sharply lower initially, but then the brakes were put on, buying came back in. But overnight we've also seen the futures moving lower there to support to the left, where you've got the volume there as well. And in the German DAX, we've got a test to the left. We didn't break out to the upside, where it was looking like we may do. They've decided to have a shakeout first, if they are going to bring it back. And you can see there in the daily chart, we're heading to the 200 MA as well for the German DAX. So don't be surprised if this is tested, if it's only a 25 basis cut as well. In the 30-minute chart, it was a one-way bet, where we started with the upside And then once we got some momentum on the downside, there was nothing stopping the German DAX there. As you can see, prices are just moving down and then cascading from mid-morning through the afternoon, and overnight price is still looking weakened, as though they could actually retest the low there as well. So a good shakeout there in the German DAX for yesterday. Meanwhile, in the twilight zone, the S&P made an all-time high, but it was made overnight during yesterday. So when we looked at the market alert yesterday morning, it was made on in the early hours of Tuesday morning. So there you can see that we're still weak overnight as well. So again, everything was fine and dandy. This is where the actually the all-time high was made during yesterday's session, not the previous night. I got that completely wrong there. So yeah, the all-time high was made, the 6635, during yesterday in the electronic session before the cash market opened, when that too also sold off there. So the market back up and then back down and heading towards the low there of 6600. So yeah, you can see there's the early hours, or sorry, Monday's high, and then we went up and made a new high in the overnight. And then in the day, well, I suppose it's the overnight of the S&P when you think about it. But anyway, there was a new all-time high made yesterday, and the market not liking this now and actually pulling back a bit there. If you can see in the daily chart, you can also see the very high volume there as well. And the FT100 also moving south yesterday. You can see the selling there as well. And also started off fine for the first 2 or 3 minutes of the first couple of hours, and then the selling came in, whatever sparked this, and then down the market came, and again watched the low of this market being tested as well at some point during today. So all eyes will be on the US dollar, which also showed weakness yesterday, starting to show a bit of strength, and I'm not surprised actually, because again it's already baked in, as they say. So expect the dollar to could even actually bounce off this news today as well. Let's have a look at the metals. And despite yesterday the silver market moving higher, brace yourselves for a pullback in this market, because again this is already factored in, and we're going to see lower prices. Let's just draw in some lines from here to here, and I would say it's coming back down to around the $40 mark, 50 to be generous there. And in the 30-minute chart, you can see there shakeout already in Asia, bringing this, anticipating that we're only going to get 25 basis points. Yesterday the LBMA decided to come in and start the party on the downside, and there you can see that moving lower as well. In gold, well, that's hanging around quite nicely, because obviously geopolitical events, uncertainty, etc. Different ball game for this, and that's just sideways. Barely lost anything overnight. Did retest yesterday's low, which you can see, but you can also see the buying coming back in. Yesterday just choppy, but holding its own through the LBMA pricing at lunchtime, and there you can see market moving higher after that. But overnight, already trying to move the market lower just to buy a bit more gold there. And let's have a look at the gold-silver ratio. Yeah, and this says it all. This has already moved up quite sharply and will continue up towards the 89 as well as we go further into the day, and particularly tonight, when we get, if we just get that 25 basis point, you're going to see silver get quite a bit of a hammering, I would suspect, because it's already factored in over the last few days. I mean, there's massive demand and everything. It'll soon reverse and move back to the upside, but today I think it's going to be a bit of a bloodbath for the silver price. Right, let's have a quick look at yesterday's market action. So yesterday we saw the market moving higher in the pre-market session, and then we headed into the main session where we moved lower to begin with, and as you can see there, straight down to the low. The market was already red beforehand, which is why we didn't get a signal, which is a shame. And then prices were sideways, which you can see there, retesting the low. And we know that we did get a bounce in the market, which you'll see in just a moment, and then after that we can see there, and then eventually we switch, and then that's the last time you see the markets moving to the upside. So managing to get back through the low, decent move back up there, and then once we get this short, the market's moving down there once more to the low. We bounced off the low and then we came back to the low, but this time we go through convincingly, and then we head down to the S1 where they try to hold the market. You can see that there, a bit of short covering and profit taking, but the market continues lower. They try once more, hit the S1 as a resistance level, and then move down once more as well. And then we get a run back to the low, but there's selling at the low now. It's a resistance just as the S1 was there. We've then got some selling there, which you can see, and then prices moving lower. So we head into midday. US retail sales not good, and then we get a shakeout, and then we just go south, as you see there, all the way through the afternoon until we get a little bit of a bounce. But unfortunately this one's a loser, but then we pick up on the short side once more as prices go down through the S3, which is really unusual to see, because once you get to the S3 you get some sort of support. They tried here but it failed, and then continued lower, as you'll see there, and then starts to calm down and bring the market back just slightly there. So where are we overnight? Again, just looking at this, the fact that this didn't hold at the S3 is quite worrying, because normally it would hold at the S3 and then move higher. So if it's not holding at the S3 and only a 25 basis cut, then we can expect more on the downside. So where are we overnight? Let's just have a quick look, get the right charts, and there we go. So the market sideways, very sideways and choppy there. So there's yesterday's low after going through the S3, 23,316. It's going to take a lot to move the markets. Don't expect a lot this morning, as the market's likely to tread water waiting for that FOMC meeting minutes later this evening. Right, that's it for this one. Bit of a long one, but there's a lot going on. Let's see what happens later, and how the markets actually pan out. So with that, have a great day, and as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.